Welcome back to the Growl, and man, did Monday Night Football live up to the hype this week. The Los Angeles Chargers traveled to New Orleans to take on the Saints in what was probably the most exciting game of the season so far. Saints fans suffered multiple heart and panic attacks throughout this game, but they did pull off a close one in overtime, 30-27. Now, I do want to take this time and just give props to the Chargers for coming down to the Dome and putting on the show, and I have a lot of respect for this team. They have a real bright future ahead of them with Herbert at quarterback because, man, this guy's the real deal. Like I said, I keep talking about him. I didn't like the pick, but he's been making me eat my words ever since. The only problem with the Chargers, man, is that they curse to lose close game in some of the most heartbreaking ways that we've ever seen, man. It's just something that's stuck with them over the years. So hopefully they'll get over that one day. But just this game alone is a prime example of classic Chargers football. So with that, let's break down this game. Starting off with the first half. Now, throughout the entire first half of the game, the Saints offense looked unproductive as hell. Sean Payton's play calling was absolutely terrible, and they were constantly putting the defense in terrible positions. And on top of that, the offense was only able to muster up 3 points in the entire first quarter. Now, on the flip side of things, the Chargers were taking advantage of every Saints mistake, capitalizing off of a terrible penalty by Dwayne Washington for roughing the punter and a Drew Brees interception, which led to the Chargers having a 20-3 lead halfway through the second quarter. Now, heading into the final minutes of the first half, the Saints finally put a drive together and get into the end zone where Drew Brees did a quarterback sneak to go into halftime down 20-10. Now, remember when I talked about classic Chargers type shit, right? Well, after the first touchdown pass from Justin Hebert, Badgley missed the point after attempt. Just keep that in mind. Now, despite that, the Chargers looked like they were by far the better team. Even though they had they gave up a touchdown at the end of the half, it still didn't feel like they were going to blow the lead. The Saints just looked completely flat, and they didn't look like they had pretty much any answer for the Chargers defense. Like I said, they were barely able to move the ball, and even on the drive where they scored a touchdown, it was a struggle to get there. So, like I said, man, the Chargers just looked like by far the dominant team in this game throughout the whole first half. Up to this point, Herbert now has 3 passing touchdowns, and the Chargers are not showing any signs of slowing down, which makes the second half of this game just that much more interesting. Now, coming out of halftime, the Saints defense started to turn things around by completely shutting out the Chargers offense in the third quarter, but the Saints offense still wasn't able to put up points. They only were able to get 3, which did bring the game to within 7, but with the struggles on offense still showing, it still makes this game, just a little scary. You're looking at it and you're like, well, the defense is showing up, but if we can't put points up on the board, all it takes is one play, and the Chargers walk away with the W, right? So finally, the Saints put together a drive and get into the end zone with Brees to Jared Cook pass for 41 yards, finally tying up the game. Now, at this point, all the momentum is on the side of the Saints. The defense has got a couple of good stops. They've been all in Herbert's face at this point, and the Saints offense finally looked like it's trying to wake up. But then, after both teams exchanged a couple punts in the fourth quarter, Patrick Robinson made one of the most idiotic mistakes I've seen all season and left Mike Williams literally wide open, giving up a 64-yard touchdown, giving the Chargers the lead with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. And this swung the momentum completely back into the Chargers' favor. But luckily, the Saints offense still had life and drove downfield to tie the game up with a 9-yard rush from Taysom Hill with 52 seconds left in the game. Now, at this point, I want you to think back to something. If Badgley didn't miss the extra point in the first quarter, the Saints would be forced to go for 2 in this moment, which is a lot tougher to convert than a field goal. And you would think that would be the epitome of Chargers-type football. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, it does get worse from here. So with under a minute to go, the Chargers marched right downfield, which is also aided with a spectacular Mike Williams catch. Absolutely mossed Marshawn Lattimore on the sideline, which put the Chargers in the field goal range with 5 seconds left in the game. And at this point, that San Diego spirit awakened. Badgley goes out to put up the kick, basically the game-winning field goal at this point, and bangs it off the upright. No good. We're going into overtime. Now, how many times have we seen Phillip Rivers drive the Chargers downfield and either throws an interception or the kicker misses? And I mean, I'm rooting against this team, and even I'm sitting there like, damn, that's tough. But the Saints better not lose this game after that. So now we've reached halftime. The Saints win the coin toss, and of course, they elect to receive the ball. They put together a drive which is aided by an insane Kamara catch on the sideline, moving the Saints in the field goal range. But at this point, the goal is to get a touchdown. But of course, that would make life too easy for us Saints fans. So, of course, the Saints settled for a field goal, meaning we would have to depend on this defense to close the game. The same defense that's been blowing coverage and got mossed in the fourth quarter and almost lost us the game. So, after that, the Saints go up 30-27. The Chargers take over on the field. The Saints defensive line was basically getting a lot of pressure on Herbert, but he was still completing passes. But it came down to a 4th and 6 for the game. And Marshawn Lattimore, who's been struggling throughout the entire game, lined up on one-on-one with Mike Williams. And Herbert puts the ball in his chest. But Lattimore comes up and makes one of the most clutch tackles. I'm going to say the most clutch tackles he's made in his entire career, stopping Mike Williams 1 yard short of the first down marker, and the Saints escaped with the W. And once my blood pressure was able to go down a little bit, I was actually able to look back and say, damn, that was a very entertaining game, man. So all in all, I don't have a negative thing to say about the Chargers, man. They just have to find ways to close out games. But once they're able to figure that out, there could be a serious problem moving forward. As for the Saints, I'm happy that we got the W, but this team has a lot of issues. For one, the offensive play calling has been really bad. And I mean terrible throughout these first 5 weeks. They really have to find a way to get that together. I know we've been missing Michael Thomas. Hopefully that does something when he comes back, but they really have to get that figured out. And don't even get me started on Sean Payton's obsession with Taysom Hill. Look, I love Taysom Hill, but you have to stop taking your future Hall of Fame quarterback out in key moments of the game. You know, you're supposed to put the ball in their best player's hands, and Taysom Hill is not our best player. I understand he's a playmaker, but that shit's starting to get pretty predictable. You know what I'm saying? On the opposite side of the ball, with the Saints defense, this secondary is probably the most undisciplined bunch in the league, man. Between missed assignments, penalties, they killing us. We won't win too many big games like that. It's a stat I seen yesterday that the Saints are first in the league in penalties that lead to first downs, basically giving teams the advantage on offense. And that's happening every week. So they have to clean that up. They got to get that together. But like I said, man, good win by the Saints. Great effort by Herbert and the Chargers. Fortunately, they fall down to 1-4, but they are the best 1-4 team in the league by far. You know, just last week they battled against the Bucs. Herbert played amazing in that game, and he finished this game 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. He played great. You know, and he's willing to go out there and play against anybody. You know, had a shootout with Mahomes, had a shootout with some great quarterbacks so far in his career. And that type of, what's the word I'm looking for? That type of experience could lead to, you know, his development as a quarterback, which once he develops even more from where he already is, that's a dangerous man. But with that, the Saints move on to 3-2. Officially having first place in the division because they have the tiebreaker over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they have a bye week this week, meaning us Saints fans could probably give our hearts a break, you know, and be ready to come back in week 7. But that's all I got for this game, man. Like I said, a very entertaining game. I couldn't have done it justice just talking about it. You'd have to watch it, but believe me when I say extremely entertaining. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to follow us over on Instagram and Twitter. Leave your thoughts down below. If you had any thoughts about this game, let us know how much you enjoyed it, whether you're a Saints fan, Chargers fan, or just a football fan in general. And with that, I'm out.